Welcome back. You are watching and listening to, potentially, Through a Glass Darkly radio on United Public Radio. The intro music you heard was from Karl Casey from White Bat Audio. And all right, so today I'm going to take a little bit of different tact. So, just so you all know, it's going to get spicy. I don't generally talk about politics. I'm going to talk about politics, but I'm going to try to astutely steer away from certain topics. However, in the United States, we have an election in 2 days. And I think it would be inappropriate for me not to talk about it. I will talk about it in the greater context as well as in the context of disclosure, UAP, and just in terms of the fundamental nature of reality and what that entails. So again, I'm going to try to be careful. If you don't want to hear anything, if you're sick of hearing about the election, now's the time to leave. It's I've been kind of holding a lot of this stuff in for a while, and yeah, it's that's basically the conclusion. But I want to kind of step all the way back, and I would say, especially since 2020, it has become increasingly clear to me and to many other people in the United States that we live in a managed reality. We have always lived in a managed reality, at least in modern times. The only difference is that since the advent of the internet, the ability to control mass populations through television, TV, with a number of networks. The first phase was basically, going back all the way to the Gutenberg Bible, right? That made distribution of information available to many. Now, granted, not everybody could afford a printing press. So over time, an elite formed, knowledge was increasingly passed on. We get to kind of the mass media age, yellow journalism, back at the turn of the 20th century, let's say, with William Randolph Hearst and like ilk. That transitioned into, with the radio, the fireside chats with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, helped politicians and the elite, frankly, reach a wider audience. However, they could control firmly the channels of communication. Fast forward to the television age, that also allowed continued control, but just in a different form, and with the purveyance of an increasingly rich amount of information that you could send to audiences. There was a brief period in our history when journalists were considered the fourth estate. They were an informal check against the power structure that existed. That is obviously no longer the case. They are non-entities as far as I'm concerned. At best, propagandists for the regime at worst. So there was a time when you could still have mass population control. The boomer generation was kind of the last generation where that existed. Then you had the internet, and initially it was highly decentralized, Wild West. When I came of age, kind of in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was the Telecommunications Act of 1996 that helped facilitate that. And increasingly, the internet became a place of possibility. There was, obviously the corporatization of the internet made it, groups tighten down on that information, et cetera, et cetera. And with the advent of other platforms like YouTube that provided the ability of people who did not come from the elite or were not enmeshed with it, it gave them an opportunity to reach out along the airwaves to, make their voices heard. Since the foundation of the United States Republic, the First Amendment has been key part and parcel, which is the right to free speech. With the advent of the decentralization of information purveyed by the internet, as well as what you call kind of a filter bubble with search engines and people kind of getting confirmation bias on everything that they get, which is resulting in this great schism of American politics. What is increasingly happening is the elites, those who are firmly in control, have the majority of the capital in this country, as well as those who control other major areas of the political environment, kind of the political establishment, and things like that, who tend to be not necessarily wealthy families, but people who have wealthy backgrounds and grew up in kind of partisan or a patrician sort of structure. There is an increasingly their power structure has been being increasingly the edifice that it rests upon is becoming increasingly rickety, let's just say. And as a result, they're flailing. They're doing things that are motivated by fear and a willingness to demonstrate their power. But in doing so, it weakens their power. So, as a clear example of that, let's take the sanctions against Russia, okay? Which, Russia shouldn't have done what it did, but and some of those sanctions were good. They leveraged the rules of the international order, which the United States had a hand in establishing at the end of World War II. However, there were elements of it that went too far. Elements of those sanctions that attacked our own core principles, that were levied against an enemy of the United States, solely because they were an enemy of the United States, and they ignored our fundamental principles, like the sanctity of private property, right? So we were violating our own laws to seize Russian oligarch yachts and things like that. And I don't feel bad about Russian oligarchs, but when you start going after dollar-denominated assets solely because they're dollar-denominated assets, you very obviously to me, but to the clowns in power, not so obvious, you undermine that fundamental system that you set up 45 years, not 45 years ago, but in 1945, okay, 80 some years ago. So as a result, the very predictable domino effect of us losing the petrodollar, which I didn't see any articles about in any detail in the Wall Street Journal when it happened, but it was a fundamental 50-year agreement that helped shore up the dollar and strengthen the dollar and made the dollar the required global currency that enabled us to set and continue to manage this international order. As a result of policies that these elite have set up, we've undermined that, and as a result, we've had runaway inflation. We've had a border that we don't protect for a almost fetishized war in Ukraine. That, look, I don't think what the Russians did was proper or correct. I thought they committed a number of war crimes, and I'm not a fan of Putin. But if we're not willing to defend our own border and we're sending billions of dollars over there, something's not right. Something is fundamentally broken with the American system. So my perspective on this is a principle-based perspective. And look, I'm not going to endorse anybody on this, so I don't want to alienate anybody, but I'm still going to alienate people with some of my views, because there are actions and behaviors that I think are completely unacceptable in an American system, completely abhorrent. And not consistent with my values or anyone's values who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. So, to wit, private property. That's a fundamental principle that goes all the way back to John Locke. It's inviolable. Any group or organization that seeks to violate that is opposite to my principles. Free speech. Any organization, group that cries out and whines about misinformation is the enemy. Full stop. The enemy. The only way that you can decide which views are inimical to your civilization or protective for your civilization is that you're allowed to air out those views in public. And so that bad ideas can be exposed with the sunlight and with the disinfectant that is sunlight. When those bad ideas are labeled as misinformation and go underground, they metastasize. And they might even be good ideas, but if they're bad ideas and they metastasize, pressure builds up and they come out in far more dangerous ways than they otherwise would, right? So, again, I am a free speech absolutist. You burn the flag in front of me, I will be pissed off, but I will defend your right to the death to do it. Okay? Number two, the right to bear arms. It is increasingly becoming very clear to me why that is the Second Amendment. I don't trust the government that we have anymore, and I need an assurance that I can protect my family from all enemies, foreign and domestic. So again, I am very favorable to the Second Amendment. Now, I'm not even reading your comments yet, so I'll get to that. My apologies. I'm on a riff here because I have to establish where I'm coming from. There's other trends I've seen in this country as well. There is a unbalanced view or unbalanced practice in certain parts of the country where if you are of a certain have certain immutable characteristics, you will not be prosecuted for crime. But if you have certain immutable characteristics, you will be prosecuted for every possible version of the crime. Not only that, if you don't agree with a certain narrative, you will also be prosecuted. Let me give you an example. Eric Adams in New York, right? Democratic mayor of New York. He kind of started asking questions about kind of this free-for-all of illegal aliens that are coming into New York, instantly charged with a corruption scandal. Now, was he corrupt? I don't know. Steve Bannon, okay, was held in contempt of Congress. Never before in U.S. history had anyone ever been put in prison or jail for that. Even Eric Holder, okay? He was in contempt of Congress as well. Did Congress kind of go after him? No. So for committing a misdemeanor, they put Steve Bannon in jail for, I think it was like some crazy amount of time. Okay. I'm not in with people who, and again, I'm not necessarily a fan of Steve Bannon, but this is not how we treat political prisoners. This is how you treat political prisoners in a banana republic. The whole lawfare, right? Who in their right mind would ever run for political office? What kind of competent people are you ever going to get in political office if someone comes after you for getting involved in a related business transaction where you have to estimate the price of something that every business does routinely when they get a loan? And when you pay back that loan and there's no crime, there's no victim, but just because you're, of a political a certain stripe, the power of the judicial system is levied against you entirely, right? This is unacceptable behavior in a democracy. So as I look at the election, anybody in power needs to go. Full stop. I don't care who you are. You need to go. You get to get the fuck out. Okay? And excuse my language, but that's where I am. The people who have been running this country, either in the background or in the foreground, need to go. So you can interpret that any way you want. And I'm not going to go too far into this, but 2 years ago, one of the reasons I started this channel is something happened to me personally, that was related to me looking at a particular decision in a business that would not have been favorable from a business perspective, but because that sound, objective view did not fit the current political narrative, I was ousted. So they targeted my family. So this is personal. This is personal. So I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I know who the enemy is, and I know who is not the enemy. And that's where I stand. I'm sick and tired of it. Now, the other thing too is this, we'll get to disclosure because I promised we'd talk about that. The current people in power right now did not disclose in the last 4 years at all. What makes you think they're going to disclose after that? They're not. Now, the other guy, he's probably not either. Okay. But he does have a motivation to burn some of this shit down. Figuratively, YouTube. Figuratively. Not literally, but parts of the government need to be dismantled. And because this runaway spending is not going to stop. That's one of the reasons we have inflation. It's not the only reason, but it is a reason. And we need fewer regulation. We need less government in people's lives. Just look at the billions of dollars that were spent in North Carolina and Tennessee. And, a billionaire did more for them than billions of dollars that the federal government just probably wasted in some sort of corruption scandal somewhere. So whoever your current representative is, vote the other side because they're not doing their job, right? So Mike Turner, vote him the fuck out. Okay. And don't even get me started on DEI. It is racial Marxism. The only thing that's worse than Marxism is racial Marxism. And it's just, it's not acceptable. The fact that you can't, there are already foreign nationals voting in our election, and it is illegal for people to challenge them in my state. It is just, this is unconscionable. So look, I just vote for your chosen candidate, but those are my principles, and those are principles that I will never move away from. I am all about 100% the truth. Okay. What is true has to come out. And what's happening is, and that's the other thing too, you're seeing all these Hollywood types kind of endorsing a certain candidate. You know why they're doing that? Well, two reasons. There's an Epstein compromat ring, and there is a P. Diddy compromat ring. Okay. And if they don't do what they're prescribed to do, then the list's going to come out. I want a guy in there who just releases the lists, clears the decks, and allows merit to come back before this country goes down the drain. Okay. I'm about meritocracy. I'm about truth. I'm about free speech. And I'm about the right to defend myself and my family from tyrants who are capricious and willing to, come into my house and take my pets because some piece of shit informant called the cops and wanted some animals murdered. For why? Why are we using government resources to do that stuff when we're not even protecting the goddamn border? Unacceptable, completely unacceptable. So again, I'm not going to talk about the whatever's Peanut, the squirrel, and all that stuff. It's emblematic of the capriciousness and the waste of resources that are being poured into the government against certain people, but not against others. Okay. I've had enough. And anybody who doesn't see that, I'm sorry that you don't see that. But we need a sharp and swift correction, because if we don't have it, this place is going to fall apart. So, all right, I'm going to go through some of the, just while I calm down, I'm going to go through at least blitz through the comments. So my apologies I have no idea if I'm like, let's see. All right, just going through. Oh, great question, Vidal. Who do I think is going to win? I know who's going to win. Well, I should say Christopher Robinson said that in 2015 he's a precognitive dreamer. He used to work for the MI5, MI6. We'll see if he's as good as he claims to be, because according to him, Trump gets a second term. So that's neither here nor there. Now I don't know how that manifests, but well, because there is widespread cheating. I mean, that's obvious. They're finding it all over the place. There was just a Chinese national who was caught voting in Michigan, as an example, and this is like, I think Senator Rubio was talking about that. Oh God. Yep. Good evening, Miss Tessa. Yeah, sorry I got spicy, but I'm trying to keep it. I don't know. That's a good question about the future forecasting group. Remote viewers saw a mushroom cloud in November. Yeah, but that doesn't. You don't have to have a nuke to have a mushroom cloud. It could just be something else. Huh? Volcanic eruption, Mamjama. Interesting. Yeah, I think I agree. Fast Mamajama says Congress and Senate are paid actors to get disclosure we need to get money out of politics. Well, just to riff on that, it's kind of interesting that the hearings for this for disclosure are scheduled on November 13th. It's kind of like it's got a bread and circuses sort of feel to it. When in doubt, distract, right? Give the people bread and circuses so they don't really figure out what's really going on. Oh yeah, the ones who deliver bricks and Gab. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So billionaires are made in Black Ops CIA programs. Ian Carroll has a video interesting about the USC owners. Yeah, could be. I don't know. We got to get through the next few weeks and months, and I'm not optimistic. Oh God! Did anyone see the trail cam footage taken in Vermont? I believe that caught some suspicious-looking Taliban men sneaking in from Canada. I did not see that, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, the dream is over, Twinkle. Yeah, I think American politicians don't want to fix some issues because they need those issues to exist, so the politicians can run for re-election. Yeah, I don't think they're helpful at all. I think politicians are about as useless as a football bat. Thank you, Miss Tessa. Look, I'm going to lose subscribers on this, but now's the time of the great cleansing. So cleanse away. Yeah, I like. Don't even get me started on that. Yes, insider trading, kickbacks, perks, a free pass to the dumbs, trips, gifts, the works. It is legal for Congress, legal for them to trade on material, non-public insider information. I used to work a long time ago in investment banking. If I traded on information like that, you go straight to prison, and you should go to prison. Why do they have different rules? That's a fundamental part of the problem here. By the way, I have a friend who just invested $1,000 in a Pelosi tracking stock. What they do is they track the trades that Pelosi is, because they have to disclose stocks that they trade, and then they buy the same stocks. And I think it's up 52% year to date. You go figure out that one. Yeah, it has a lot to do with how much money you have. If you can afford to hire on you're more likely to come out okay. But if you hire, yeah, that's the other thing. The legal system is, if the federal government wants to destroy you, all they have to do is accuse you of something, and then you have to spend, at least $1 million to clear your name, and by then you're ruined. So, like, that's our system today. That is our system. And I know that because I have a friend who's like had to deal with that. And I'm not going to get into it all, but it's just that's the way the system works. All right, Fest, Mama Jama, you go make those chicken nuggets while you still have chicken. Yeah, get them all out, toss them all out. Yeah, it's a puppet show. Policies promised are never fulfilled. It's all pre-planned end of. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think our humans are that smart. No, I'm not gonna. The Vidal, you sound like a Fed. You never name names. You never threaten. That's bad news. You don't touch that ever. I'm not gonna name any names. I just the people who do not or are against the principles I discussed are fundamentally un-American and are enemies of the United States. And I don't mean the government. I mean the polity, the people who encompass the electorate. Well, yeah. I mean, there's three names there. One of them is a far less serious person than the other two. I'll let you figure that one out. Yes, actually, I do want the permanent Akashic record to spill the tea, but 100%. I got to be careful. Trump is the imperfect cudgel needed to pound against the deep state. He already has a path for RFK's message out. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you need to hire a psychopath to fight psychopaths. Yes, it is a. The only thing to disclose is the entire system is criminal, mafioso, thuggery, cabal, chimera. It's definitely has classic aspects of like of the mafia, basically, like the corruption and the grift. Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, we'll get into that. I'm just trying to get through all this. Thank you, Gray. I appreciate you. Oh boy, I don't even know. We are in for a fight chat. I hope not. I hope the things that I just mentioned are pretty common sense. I don't think anybody can. I would love to see that. Remix my best lines in some music. I would love to see that. Yeah. So Peter writes, "Hi from New Zealand. I want to see P Diddy list, and I am picking Trump. By the way, I already voted too, so it's already it's already arrived according to the state of California. We'll see if they decide to keep it though. By the way, did you see the military? Conveniently didn't have enough ballots to allow all the members that wanted to vote to vote. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? It's a good way for the current regime to really build loyalty with the only kind of major arm that that it can deploy to do its nastiness if it needs to. Isn't that amazing? The one people you need, like group of people you need to make happy, you screw over like that. And I get some people say it's on purpose. I think they're just that incompetent. Hey, Mark, you got me at like this is like the worst possible time to be a new listener because I'm talking about a topic I assiduously try to avoid because this is obviously about paranormal. Oh, I do talk about geopolitics, but I think American politics are so corrupt and dysfunctional at this point that it has become a geopolitical problem, a geopolitical issue that needs to be addressed. So, and again, this also ties into disclosure and whatnot. Yeah, thanks, GML. I'm trying to keep it sane. I I don't know. I think uh, they're finding enough cheating. So I have a friend who is I think that his title is chairman of the board of commissioners in Lancaster County. So again, it's not like I'm like well tied in and stuff like that. It's just someone I served with when I was in the army, and I've kept in touch with them. And I talked to him the other day because they just found 2,500 fraudulent ballots that were turned in at the very last minute. We didn't talk about who those ballots supported or anything like that. Between him and I, we kind of it didn't need to be said. We kind of knew. There's only one side that's fighting tooth and nail over not requiring ID. So that can kind of tell you which side is, there's only one reason you would do that, and that's to cheat. So, because you need an ID for pretty much everything else. Anyway, the fact that like these arguments are still paraded as if it's like, are you saying that like certain minorities are stupid because they can't get IDs? Like that's what they're saying. That's the implication of what they're saying, right? It's the most ridiculous and racist thing from the anti-racist coalition that in my life. Again, I'm going to step back and just shut up. I don't want to alienate anybody. I'm sure I am, but I am so pissed off, and I've kept it bottled up for so long that. But I need to get that off my chest. All right, let's see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, peanut. Yep. Thank you, Sooty. I'm just fired up tonight. Boo Water, I know you. I don't. Thoughts on the F1 leaked won the swing states on the news? They can try to do that. They can try to do that. We should actually talk through what's next too. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about the last election, but the more I see this one, the more. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't seen one Kamala Harris sign in my. Was it Kamala or Kamala? Right, because I know it's very offensive if you say it the wrong way. In my rural California farming town, only Trump signs and even a couple old. Yeah, yeah. All right, maybe because of Joe Rogan, Cliff Eye, and Dick Alger predicted. Good evening. What do you make of the strategic drill they're going to conduct that's been rescheduled for Election Day? What strategic drill? Say more, Mark. I will answer you, but I need to know what this. I'm not aware of that yet. Yeah, it could. It could crash if the federal government comes in with their own digital currency, right? But that's a canard because it's just another attempt at more control. Sean, last year looked at the WEF attendees, 370 or so. Hard to find even 1 in 9 that was not a degenerate. Yeah, most of them are degenerates. Yeah. So here's the other thing that the federal government did that just pissed people off. So you have all these like literal terrorists and criminal gangs coming in from Venezuela because they emptied the prisons. They're taking over apartment structures. That's a real thing. Trust me. I've looked it up and verified that that's a real thing. And none of these governors are like, oh, I can't do anything. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do anything? Like, I'd have a SWAT team there the next day taking them out. Like, this stuff is not hard. It's not hard. These people are just moral cowards. They're absolute moral cowards. And the other thing that just pisses me off, you have Americans that fought, many of them were grievously injured in this 20-year war, and then they come back home, and then they're cited as a key threat for domestic terrorism. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Right? Like this is the regime that we have now. So calm down. But like I have friends who were literally blown up by suicide bombers. And like just because I served and everybody like me who served were now looked at more suspiciously, you should be honoring us for for serving, serving the country when no one else would. And now we're looked at with suspicion. Go fuck yourself. So Anyway, I gotta calm down. But like, sorry, I just saw the director saying Under Earth Americans should expect terrorist attacks this year. Yeah, but not from Native American, not from like native born American citizens. But that's where that's where they've shifted their resources. So they had the whole freaking January 6th LARPing session where they staged basically an opportunity to. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not even gonna re-legislate that. But like the credibility of these people who run our government is it's not there anymore. It's just not. Okay, so has anyone watched the Candace Owens interview where she interviews Judge Joe Brown? He saw the contents on Hunter's laptop and he said there wasn't one laptop, but three laptops. I'm gonna go with JD Vance. JD Vance has kind of said, you know what? I, while he did some bad things, he's probably a fun guy, right? Hunter Biden's probably you would probably have a good time with that guy. He's probably like good time Hunter Biden. 100% justice is for sale. Your best bet is just staying away from other people, staying away from the justice system in any way, shape, or form you can, because you're not going to get a free or fair trial. You're just going to get destroyed, especially if you're white and male. Full stop. Full stop. Wait, what? No, come on. UN peacekeepers in national parks? Yeah, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. Am I a fan of Klaus Schwab? Yeah, of course I'm a fan of Klaus Schwab. I mean, could you have, in several years, we will have 15-minute sittings where you can get everything you need. You can have all your activities regulated, and you can eat the bugs, which will be fantastically delicious. You will not be able to eat stink or fly on the planes, but don't worry about that. We will take care of everything. We will be on the planes, and we will be minding the business for the slaves. Oops, did I say slaves? I did not mean that. I meant the food. Oh, no, just get the booster, and you'll be all fine. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Klaus Schwab. Anyway. Yeah, I saw that video too. I don't know what he was thinking. I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to get banned. But Waltz would not get banned for saying something like that. National Parks Foreign Troops Law? Come on. The sovereign legacy peoples of these United States. Yeah, you will eat the bugs, and they will be tasty. You can get the crickets, and you can also get some cockroach, and you can also have the ants. Yeah, I'm deliberately very careful about naming names because I don't want to. Particularly with presidents, you have to be very, very careful. All right, so Vidal writes, also Bashar said if Trump will win, the world will end and everybody else will die if Kamala wins. And if we'll die, if Kamala wins, we get open to contact. Look, there's one thing between Trump and Kamala. Look, you can make arguments on both sides about disclosure, right? The people who are currently in power have obviously not disclosed, so they probably won't disclose going forward. However, Trump was in for 4 years and he did not disclose. However, there's one key. So you could make the argument that if he didn't disclose, then he's not going to disclose now. There's one key argument, though. I think after what's happened to him and after the entire machinery of the deep state or institutional bureaucracy, deep state sounds conspiratorial, was leveraged against him, where they literally made up a hoax about Russia, etc. Had 15 intelligence officials say, "Oh, well, we can't prove it. It's highly likely that Russia, influenced the election to put Trump in power, this and that." Like, it was all bullshit. It was all bullshit. They didn't confirm it. It wasn't true, but they all staked their reputations on it. So I think I think, and you could hear it in the Rogan interview. Trump said something to the effect of like, they showed me the file, the Kennedy file, and I saw this, and we decided it was very, very bad. We decided not to disclose, but because there were some people alive that were associated. And he's like, no, I'm not so sure. I think there might be, that's not really a concern anymore. I think there needs to be a cleansing, and I think he used the terms cleansing. Look, you should not ever go after your political enemies. He talked a good game about that, but he never went after Hillary Clinton, left her alone, all that stuff. They did the exact opposite to him, went after him full bore. I just want to see people held accountable for all the horse shit that they put us through in the last 4 years. Like, I just want to see people just pay for their crimes. That's it. And manipulating the American public to believe a false hope and a false claim in an intelligence operation to swing an election, right? Like, banning a newspaper for reporting on the Hunter laptop. I mean, like, are you kidding me? We had intelligence agencies from CIA to FBI actively infiltrated these social media companies and kept information that was highly relevant to a United States election. Like, classic definition of election interference. I'm looking at you, Elvis Chan, and no one, not a single person, was held accountable for this. I mean, it's just, we had a 4-star general on the phone with the Chinese without authorization making policy. As a general, you're not supposed to be making policy. All right, I think I'm on. Now you're going to hear some feedback because I ran out of batteries here. So this is going to be a little weird, but if I can just charge this thing up for a little bit, I should be okay. But yeah, we ain't getting open contact with someone who can't formulate her own thoughts without a teleprompter. Sorry. Yeah, please. If you haven't unsubscribed yet, thank you for not unsubscribing. But I'm a little fired up tonight. So let's see. I don't know. Whoever it is, it's somebody who's behind the scenes, and you'll never see that person. You'll never see that person for good reason, right? Because there'll be a very targeted individual by the Chinese and Russian intelligence. So you will never see that person. You only see people acting on that person's behalf. It's probably somebody you don't know. By the way, the question is for those on the radio: who do you think is the official government gatekeeper in the UFO subject? I don't know. But whoever it is will never come out, and there will always be their identity will always be hidden. Diddy, Epstein, and the Catholic Church have something in common? Oh boy, I'm not touching that one. I know exactly what that one is too. DARPA is the official gatekeeper. I don't think it's DARPA. It's I don't think it's at the agency level. I think it's above that. It's probably someone at the national intelligence level who's been an insider for their entire career, not a politician. And there will be some politicians that know, like a Dick Cheney and stuff like that, but aren't necessarily in control of the process. But somebody probably, deep in DIA, somebody who is at Lockheed Martin, who's trusted, things like that. It's not going to be anybody you know. All right, I just wanted to share that my friend and I released a song last Friday called Descent. I think you and your father might enjoy it. It's available worldwide. I'm pretty awake and aware. All right. Yeah, feel free to put a link in the comments or something like that where people can check it out. I have no issues or with people sharing their creative projects. All right. China has been drilling and building up a military presence for Taiwan, almost as if an invasion is on hold, waiting for the U.S. election in 2 days. Yeah, look, if again, I want to be very clear. I'm not a Trump fan. I think he's a wild man. I don't think, but I can't, the other side is they hate things about me just because of the color of my skin and what's between my legs. Like literally, they've created an environment where it's bad to be a white male. So like, I don't care where they stand on policies. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. If Satan was running against Kamala, I would vote for Satan. That's where I am right now, because you have attacked everything that I am, and so it's not about Trump. It's not about Trump at all. It's about like preventing racial Marxists from taking control of the country, which they've already have. And if we don't reverse it, you're gonna have planes falling out of the sky. Meritocracy's gone. Just not. I'm sorry, I'm not signing up for that. I'm not signing up for that. I didn't serve. I didn't volunteer my body to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. For that, I'm just. It's stupid. So I don't care who you are, what you do, where you come from, what color your skin is, who you love, what religion or God you worship. All I care about is who you are at an individual level. And if you're good, then you're with me. If you're a liar, you're a psychopath, you're not with me. If you don't believe in the truth, you're not with me. But this whole group people into categories so you can divide and conquer is bullshit. And I'm done. I'm done with it. Okay. I don't think they're going to find out who the winner is for. Yeah. I don't think we're going to find out who the winner is for possibly weeks. Yeah. Well, no. It's going to be, oh, it looks like Trump's ahead. We're going to need to count a few more votes. Get some things over here. Okay. Oh, look. It's like, look. With the votes that he has are going to go down. Oh, look, it's going up and it's almost 1-1. Like, wow, it's going to be neck and neck. You're going to see lots of bullshit. So just get ready for it. I think we're going to know the winner is right away, but I don't think anybody's going to concede for a very long time. And then I also think you're going to get a bullshit 14th Amendment Section 3 challenge by Jamie Raskin. We can't have an insurrectionist in charge. So, just get ready for that kind of stupidity. November 13th, we will know who was alien and who was not. Okay, Vidal Klaus Schwab, according to Future Fort, looked like Xenu from the Church of Xenu. He looked like he was going on a cosplay convention. Look, man, I love me some Klaus, man. He is like the perfect. He is like Dr. Evil with a German accent. Like he's perfect. He's like from Central Casting of the Villain School of Munich, man. He's perfect. The algorithm found you? Wow. I can't believe the algorithm helped me, right? Like I was actually doing some work with using ChatGPT on like is my channel growing in the right way? And I use this thing called the Bass diffusion model, which it's a differential equation that just describes an S curve, and it's any product that you launch, including a YouTube channel, should follow that path, right? My subscriber rate does not. And so I asked ChatGPT to analyze it, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, your coefficient of innovation is negative." And it doesn't really. Your coefficient of innovation for a new product should never be negative, right? So there's definitely some suppression going on. I don't know to what extent, or I don't even know if it's suppression. It's just the only thing that's 100% clear to me is that the YouTube algorithms that run the channel are not on the level, right? It could be that they give more weight to bigger channels or something else, but they're not on the level. They're not like, if they were, my impressions would also follow a power law distribution, right? So like things that are natural in nature. So even you think about a Pareto distribution, 20% of landowners own 80% of the land, right? That's a power law distribution. So like 20% of the people do 80% of the work. That's a power law distribution. So most things in the natural world have power law distributions. Everything about my channel, from views to subscribers, to just about every other metric, follows a power law distribution. except one thing. And that one thing is called impressions. And that's what the rate at which YouTube shows my channel other things. It does not follow a power distribution, which means it's fake. It's not real. It's manipulated. Now, I don't think I'm personally targeted or anything like that, but it is artificial. It is not like the people don't decide, right? There are winners and losers that YouTube can clearly press the dial on. I don't know that for sure, but that's what the data says to me. And you know, for people who are like, "Oh, you're just," I have 2 degrees from Stanford and 2 graduate degrees from Harvard. So, like, I'm not an idiot, and I don't talk about that at all. But that's just, I'm not an idiot. Okay. Um, yeah, I have not watched that movie because I've lived it, so I don't need to watch it. Yes, well, I think, yeah, I think he's going to be the disclosure president because he's got nothing to lose at this point. Like, they tried to kill him twice, maybe a third time. I don't know. I can't remember if the third time was a hoax or something like that. But they tried to kill him at least 2 times. I don't think he gives an F anymore. I think he's definitely going to disclose Kennedy, regardless of what happens to whatever dirtbag is still living. Like, that person needs to accept the consequences of what they did, probably. So, and I don't know if he was clueless, but I think he was on NBC. They're doing whatever they can to sow confusion. Like, I mean, she I mean, she doesn't even have an average IQ. I don't like. I can't imagine someone who, like, if you remove the teleprompter, she doesn't know what to say. Like, if you just picked me up off the street and said, Sean, we need you to do a press conference as a presidential candidate, like right now. You just get it. I'd be like, okay. And I'd figure it out. I would need a teleprompter. I'm not using a teleprompter right now. Right now, you could be the judge of if what I'm saying is stupid or not. It might be. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying stuff that's offensive or objectionable and I'm not thinking about it. But if you told me here's a policy problem, just you throw questions at me, I could bob and weave without any preparation. She can't. She's that dumb. She's that stupid. So let's see. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, again, this is the great cleansing. Like, you're either with me in terms of, look, if you're going to vote for Kamala, Camel Toe, whatever you want to call her, right? God bless you. There could have been something in your life where there was a Republican policy or a right leaning policy that made you like an implacable enemy of the Republican Party. I understand that. Like, vote with your conscience, do the right thing. I don't think you're a communist. I just think you have a different life experience than I did. My life experience is just that, like, it's the end. It's the end of the republic if these clowns win again. It's just the end. So, but that's been my personal lived experience, and I acknowledge that other people have lived experience, and I'm not going to judge people for that. Unfortunately, the other side calls everybody who's slightly to the right of Stalin as fascists, etc. So, like, I don't care. You can call me whatever you want to call me. It doesn't hurt anymore, right? I don't care. I don't give a shit. Okay? But I'm not going to treat you the same way. If you have a different lived experience, God bless you. Vote with your heart. Do what you think is the right thing. That's what elections are all about. Now, to the cheaters, you should be lined up, and I'm not going to say it, but that's unacceptable in a democracy. Okay, Judy knows more than he's willing to say. He isn't clueless. He knows. He's about just pretending that he doesn't know anything about the phenomenon. There's a cybersecurity drill in election. Oh, that's some interesting timing there. I wonder who scheduled that. It sounds like it's just like all this stuff is so transparently obvious. Like, if you were, I mean, they're like, right now, they're doing things right in front of our faces. Like, yeah, we could do whatever we want. We don't care. I mean, if you were a responsible public official, you would not run a national cybersecurity drill on election day. It just raises too much suspicion, right? But you're either incompetent for wanting to do this, or you have a plan, and that plan is, let's see where the votes are. Let's try to, you know, unreal. Yeah, should be interesting. Okay, bro, I'm seeing the whole media and people on social media embrace Trump. If Biden is an actor, he's doing a great job. I'll share about the drill. The CDBC may not work. Cash is king. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I don't think Biden is acting. I think there was a soft coup, and he's pissed off, and he's doing some of this stuff intentionally, right? Like wearing the Trump hat and things like that. Because, like, I'll be honest with, like, what they did him dirty. They did that old man dirty. Like, look, I'm not a fan of the guy, but I also, like, I don't have any personal animus toward him at all. Uh, again, like, just as an aside, like, I was his primary nominee for the Air Force Academy. I didn't go to the Air Force Academy, but the guy called my house and stuff like that. Like, I have nothing personal against the guy. I actually feel sorry for the way they did him dirty. I think what happened to him was a prime example of a soft coup, and I think he's doing some of this stuff intentionally. Right? Could you imagine being replaced by a half brain dead moron like Kamala Harris? I mean, come on. I just, like, I could you imagine that person running the United States? Can you imagine, like, her going toe to toe with Xi or Putin? They will eat her alive. They will eat her alive. Anyway, yeah, I know, I heard that guy. That guy is playing with fire. He is playing with fire. Let's see. Yeah, only a handful. I heard that interview, but it's only a handful that foreign nationals have seized and are extorting the American residents. Just a handful. Are you kidding me? It should be zero. Zero. Let's see. Yeah, but I think foreign powers are definitely trying to take this thing apart. Hold on, I got too much noise in the background. All right, that should reduce some of the noise. All right, so Secret Mountain Wilderness. Do you know? I have no idea what the Secret Mountain Wilderness. I know, I know. We have all the technology to stop this stuff. I just want to see all these lists come out so that we just recycle the elites and put people in there who are actually meritocratic instead of people who are compromised to do the bidding of their masters. Uh, how's it been going? Go back to corporate life. I'm stoked to see the channel continue. Uh, yeah, it's look, it's. I'm not going to comment on that sort of thing. Um, but it is what it is. I'm trying to stay ahead because there are times when things can ramp up, and then there could be weeks where I don't do anything for this channel. So I'm just trying to stay as far ahead as I can, just out of sheer fear. So we'll see. Yeah, good for you. Like, what they did Bernie wrong too, right? Like, they did some, like, completely undemocratic stuff to him too. I'm not a Bernie fan, but, like, I still recognized injustice when I see it, and that was a huge injustice. Yeah, that's true. It could be version 6.0 right now. Yeah, it's been it's been rough. I have no idea what a Quiltron injection is, Wang Wang. No idea. If you could enlighten me, I would be greatly appreciative. About 8 years ago. Huh. Yeah, there are already people I've seen on social media like, oh, I had my crickets today and they're actually quite good and this and that. I'm sorry. I'm not signing up for that. I am not signing up for that. Wait, they apparently designate the national parks as UN territory? What the? Are you kidding me? Those patented blue light. Huh. And 43 in the chat, which is only 10 more than 33. So he's basically Illuminati too. All right. We know things have gone too far when we can no longer call a spade a spade. I know, right? Trump covered up for Bush, both likely Masons. DOD directed. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they try to. Well, since they disenfranchised a huge percentage of the military, good luck getting them to cooperate. Unreal. Yeah, no, she's not. Kamala. I mean, she can barely like get us contact with half intelligent people. I gotta calm down. Look, if you vote for the Democratic Party for whatever reasons you have, knock yourself out. I just can't. I can't in good conscience. Full stop. In fact, I think in the last election cycle, I voted for the Green Party because that was the only other choice I had. That's where I am. Yeah, same thing. I think was it 52 or 51, but yeah, those people are scum. Okay, so Candace Owen also interviewed Yoichi Shimatsu, an investigative reporter, and has proof apparently that she has ties to the cartel, getting money from them and family ties to the Bushes, etc. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if justice is coming. Cheney side, yeah. I know. I mean, I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. Like, she's with Cheney. What? He was like the devil. And then suddenly he's on the side of like rhinos, like, or like he's on the side of like Republicans, or like, I mean, he's on the side of the Democrat. I mean, come on. The guy was a warmonger, obviously. Like, it's like the neocons just went from the Republicans to the Democrats, and this like whole without any pretense. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that out loud, but I agree with you, Woo Riders DG. I think we'll know who is president on election day, but I don't think it will be decided by Christmas, because I think the policy will be to run the clock while they find the votes, so to speak. Yeah, if you can get me to hit 11K, I would be pretty impressed, but I'm not even close. I'm not even close to that. Oh, you mean subscribers? I bet you. Are they actually going up? Let's see. No, they've been flat since the beginning, which is actually better than I expected. I expected to be losing some. Melon, huh? John Anwar. I don't know. Current system power is treating us like mushrooms, keeping us in the dark and feeding us BS. Yeah, I agree. John Warner interviews the dark journalist with can answer that. His dad was one of the Majestic 12. Oh, Senator Warner? I believe that. He was like a big Secretary of the Navy guy. Yeah, they can try. I don't think it's going to get, I don't know if it'll get that bad, but. If a film clip showed an American citizen abducted in New Zealand by aliens, would Congress legal need to be informed? No, they wouldn't be informed. I doubt they would be informed. It would just be immediately pushed underground. You don't have to love Big ET to know that he is the best. Big T to know the best shot we have. Yeah. DARPA's behind everything, even Q-tracked text. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Lisa, I don't think there is a choice. So, oh yeah, yeah. Like one point with claw marks on both sides of his. Yeah, yeah. There's some crazy stuff going on right now. Descent by Zach Lee. I made the beats and played the violin. All right, nice. Tucker talked about his demon attack experience. Yeah, yeah, I definitely saw it. Well, Alex Jones had more to say on that, but I don't. We'll see because they talked about it in private apparently. Uh oh, really? The audio remains A plus. Yeah, but I need to be able to hear it because there's a lot of noise in my background. So okay, that's good. Well, it's because I. This is where my audio is coming from. This thing up here. So there's going to be some unpleasantness. I think no matter who wins, there's going to be some unpleasantness. I don't I don't support it. I think people have the right to protest. Well, ostensibly protest. The right didn't get a chance to do that. They were immediately when the right protests, it's called insurrection. When the left riots, it's called a mostly peaceful protest. That's the standard that this administration currently endorses. So, and I think most people are just law-abiding citizens have put up with it a little bit too long, and I think we've all had enough. So, um, anyway, I'm trying to be balanced because I don't want to alienate people, but I want people to know where I'm coming from because I'm tired of being lied to. Like the sickest time I ever was in my entire life is when they forced that medicine on me. And I even had that malady before that, and it I had a bad cough, and that was the worst. But when I took this thing, I had like my lymph nodes underneath my arms swelled like balloons. Never had anything like that. I will never trust. Frankly, like I will never trust another doctor in my entire life after that. Um, I will listen to what they have to say, and won't randomly take things. But that's fundamentally destroyed my trust in the medical establishment for the rest of my life. Yeah, the election is certainly a dog and pony show. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was on Bill Maher this week, and I was every time I see him, I get so angry because that guy doesn't realize what he's playing with. He thinks it's just a game, but it's not a game. These are people's lives, and it's not a procedural like, oh, look at how I subverted democracy or the constitutional republic. Like it's thinks he's being cute. Let's see. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. No, I just get pissed off. I don't know if I'm a talented character voice actor, but those are probably like my two voices. Yeah, that's true. Like literally, if you just drew like put like created a matrix and it would say like pro Satan, anti Satan, and then you put the policies of the one party and the other. One party would have all the pro Satan policies, and the other party would not. It's pretty amazing, actually. Yeah, the algorithm was designed to defeat you, Sean, but has somehow been confused by its own bullcrap and is allowing some people to see the channel. Seriously. Yeah, sleep. Yeah, seriously. I believe it. I believe that there are sleep streams. 100% Reverend Randall, 100%. I agree with T Dog will be the disclosure president. He has at this point proven that he is in this for the right reasons. I don't think he always was in this for the right reasons, but I think he literally had a come to Jesus moment when they shot him. And by the way, the shooter, all that evidence and all that stuff just like disappeared. No reports. It just vanished into the ether. Pretty amazing. Let's see. Oh boy. The Kennedy file reveals the fake lunar missions. The men still alive he speaks of are the astronauts. I hope that's not the case. I actually think they did go to the moon, but I'm willing to accept that there's like a 1% chance that maybe that's not true. But until I hear it, I believe that they went to the moon. But we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I would not. I would not be a good president. I am not a politician. I just say what's on my mind, and that does not make good politics. Kennedy filed lunar missions, Kennedy assassination, and disclosure are all intertwined. Maybe. Yeah, but they didn't release all the docs either about Kennedy. They only released some. They still kept Pompeo, who was then the head of the CIA, asked them to kind of keep some of that information sealed. Or maybe the red vine candidate. All right, the only people online I've seen support it are bitter late millet. Sooty, you said it. I didn't. You said it. I didn't. I completely agree with you, but I can't say it. I cannot say it. Look, I'm not going to go into abortion. Okay. I think there are some cases when give it the life of the mother or the infant's not going to survive. Like it's a personal choice and things like that. But the women that you're talking about, Sudi, who like get on social media and be like, I had my eighth abortion and it was great. Like, and like when it's selective, look, I grew up Catholic. Again, I don't want to get into this, but just to give you a statistic, okay? About 85 million people were killed in World War II. About between 15 to 45 million people were killed during the Great Leap Forward in China. Since Roe v. Wade ended until today, at least 63 million American children, fetuses, whatever you want to call it, have been aborted. That's sick. That's sick. So there might be some subset, but we, as a civilization, we have a sickness, and we just need to we need more truth, and we need the sickness to end. Oh no. I don't think no. I think it's easier for YouTube to suppress the episode and not pull it. Because if they pull it, I'm just going to put it up on Patreon and then get more subscribers. I did that once already. It worked great. So, I don't think I said anything that was like misinformation or whatever bullshit tag word that they have. But I'm trying to be very careful, and I'm trying to be as balanced as I can. Yeah, I know. That's. I have a developmentally disabled daughter, and that's her, and she's just going crazy, and it's driving me nuts too. So my apologies. Let's see. Yep. Once he wins, I want okay. So this is so related. Once Trump wins, I want the Dominion voting BS to be gone. Go back to paper ballots. Have new harsh laws on voting fraud and all the shenanigans going on. 100% agree. 100% agree. I think you should get like 10 years in prison for voter fraud, like worse than rape. Well, it's not worse than rape, but I want to see like really strong punitive damages, and I want to see IDs. Like you should have an ID. I mean, for Christ's sake, you need an ID for everything else. What are the chances that continuity of government powers take control if they can't decide the election? I put it at 5 to 10%. unless they and they would kind of manufacture some sort of crisis in order to make that more palatable. Like, Russia just blew up an ammunition plant in front of, they'll manufacture something, right? So that we all find an external enemy and band together to, go. But the thing is, there are enough people in this country after 9/11 and um, after all the damage that did, and then no thanks and all that stuff, people who suffered and died for it. I don't think they're going to be able to pull any of that off. Even if the Russians did attack us in some way, I think most people will just go to the table. Like, what you've been doing to them has also been equally ridiculous. I'm surprised they haven't attacked us yet. So Judge Joe Brown talked about how the New York Times, Kamala slipped her. Well, she did. So, like, she dated Willie Brown, who was the mayor of San Francisco, and that's kind of how she got her jobs there. She was dating like Montel Williams. Like, she's not a serious person in any way, shape, or form. I don't like. That's the problem with our current political system, is people who are not even midwits are able to rise to that level of power. It's astonishing. And remember, when Biden chose his VP, he basically stipulated that she had to be black and female. He didn't look at anybody else. So, like, she is the quintessential DEI VP. So, and it's sad because they're like really hardworking African American females or black females, whatever the current, I didn't mean to offend anybody, but like Condoleezza Rice would have made an amazing president. She would have been great, but that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about a very unserious person. Yeah, thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. Okay, yes, like the 2020 census cost bucket load for the iPhones and program total waste now. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, well, it's not a meltdown. It's a she, and she's just very happy and very expressive. So she's not having a meltdown, but I probably said meltdown because it drives me nuts, because it's hard to hear and hard to kind of do everything that I'm doing when she's off stimming in the background. But and plus, if I bring on a child, then I have to follow COPA rules, and then after all the profanity that I used on this particular stream, there's like very high probability they would pull it. So you can't show kids on this thing. Yeah, it was my developmentally disabled daughter who's stimming in the background. I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you. Neutral zone. Oh God, I don't know. Yep, both sides will be trimmed. I think it's great. I think it's a cleansing. Like, just cleanse these like tainted elites, right? Everybody who had some talent, but other people who had a lot more talent who refused to participate in these rituals of self-abasement. And I mean, who would have thought 10 years ago that basically every rapper was a homosexual, right? Like, like rap culture. Like, who would have thought? Not by choice, but because P. Diddy compromised them. But I think sunlight is the best disinfectant. I think it'll be a great way to move all these people out and move people in who are more deserving to be there, because they got there through sheer merit and not compromise, and not for doing things that are, have nothing to do with musical talent or political talent or whatever, right? Just release the list. It's amazing that they haven't released these lists. I don't care how damaging they are, because everybody, no one is irreplaceable. No one, particularly our elites. I mean, they're half competent to begin with. Like put somebody in there who knows what they're doing, right? I mean, it would be our country would thrive if you released these lists and cleared out the dead weight. It would be fantastic. So it's amazing it still hasn't happened yet. Telegram got brought to heel because he has the world's largest. Yeah, yeah. They set him up. The French set that guy up. Unreal. I appreciate you, Peter. I'm dancing. I'm dancing on the ice tonight, brother. I am dancing on the ice. Oh man. Um, I mean, so thoughts on Jamie Raskin's comments about Civil War conditions and if that's their play? Yeah, I think that's their play. I I think even if he wins fair and square, like that guy's going to try to pull it and pull that little stunt. And he's not. The good news though is the person who is in the executive branch will have all the power. So when he tries to pull that cute little stunt, if Trump, the Supreme Court, kind of gave Trump the ability to just, he could just remove Mr. Raskin and escort him out and say, thank you very much. We're not doing this. We're not playing this game. So yeah, I wouldn't be too, if he tries to do this, it will be from a position of weakness. So he just doesn't realize what kind of fire he's playing with. Farsight friends say the bad ATs want the status quo. If you follow their option, the Dems would be the ones. Yeah, 100% agree with that. Okay. Yeah, so did Christopher. Wow. But deeply troubled, even started drinking. Yeah, I need to connect with I haven't talked to Ed Reardon in a while. I need to reach out to him. Yeah, well, there are ways to express discontent legally, right? So you don't have to prepay your taxes, right? You can just increase your deductions or your exemptions, and then they don't take any money out of your bank account. And if half the country did that for 3 months, there would be a fiscal crisis probably. So and as long as you haven't save enough to cover what you owe by the end of the year and expect some sort of a penalty, I believe you can legally do that. So there are certain things that you can do to I mean, you certainly can't protest. If you show up in the street and you're a non-democrat, you will be accused of insurrection. So you can't really protest, in my opinion, right? I don't think it's safe to go and try to not that I would ever do that anyway. I don't think it's effective, but there are much more intelligent things that one can do that are legal and would be justified in this sort of situation. Now, how the regime responds to that is a completely different matter. Plus, you might have other states like Texas refuse to recognize the election and then just stop enforcing federal law that they disagree with. That could be another soft way of, expressing miscontent and things like that. So we'll see. But I think either way, both sides are going to be pretty unhappy. No, I do not watch What If Faultist. I don't watch that. No, I just don't know what it is. It's not that I have any comment on it. There's a video on X where the Americans go presented ID, which was the wrong ID on purpose, and she was still able to vote. Wow. CIA-controlled NGOs push electronic voting, and it's obvious. Yeah. There's actually a organization within the CIA. It's called the Special Activities Center, and within the Special Activities Center, there's like the political action. I forget what the last. It's like PA something, and what they do is they're the ones that run orange revolutions and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. Normally, I give a big. That's fair, Pedro. I gave a big thing at the very beginning about it's also geopolitical, and we did talk about disclosure. We think there's only one party or one group that's. We all think it's very unlikely that Kamala will be a disclosure president. Trump is more likely, but only because of uh, it's an opportunity to just kind of piss off the permanent government, right? That's kind of the only reason. Um, CIA is a machine that can see the future if you want to know who wins. I mean, I think I know who wins, but that's just because Christopher Robinson, who used to work for MI6 and MI5 as a precognitive dreamer, in 2015 he asked the question, and it just said the answer that he got back was he gets 2 terms. Obviously, he didn't win in the last. He didn't win in the last election, but I think this time, I think he's two, unless he runs again, which is possible but not probable. I think this one he wins based on that. But again, what he saw in his dream was I almost verbatim. He gets 2 terms. He obviously hasn't had a second term yet, so I think he's going to win. I just don't know how he's going to win. Sorry, dude, we do not know. Yeah. No, it drives me crazy, but I try to keep it as quiet as I can. But did Epstein and Diddy get exposed because they didn't play along with the game, but they were already into? I think it just you can't run those compromise rings. I mean, I'm surprised they were able to keep it going as long as they did, but I think eventually those things always break down because somebody always defects. It's like a very complicated version of the prisoner's dilemma. Yes, you can actually. Yes. As a New Zealander, you can come to America and you can vote with no ID. Now, if they catch you doing that, well, first of all, you don't need an ID, but if they catch you doing that, they will prosecute you. So I don't encourage it. I don't recommend it because I don't want you in prison and I don't want to recommend a crime. But in practicality, it's very difficult because once those people vote, you can't trace the vote. It's just gone. So this Chinese national that voted in Michigan, his or her vote's gonna count. That's how effed up the system is right now. Yeah, it probably does go way deeper. Oh well, I mean, if you can do it remotely, let me know. I mean, she's not upset. She's very happy. She just stims and is super super loud when she does. So she's not upset. Huh, Politics and Prose bookstore comments by Jamie from Maryland. I don't know what that means. I realized long ago your daughter being the CEO of your background noise. I consider that a testament to you and your daughter's good character. Yeah, Jamie's crying. Yeah, it's a good song, by the way. David Lee Roth. Is that the bookstore in Connecticut Avenue? I don't know. Okay, what's crazy is the left is calling out and saying everyone is this and that, but they are the only ones who are doing what they call it. I know it is the ultimate projection. Like he's going to create camps and he's going to prosecute his political enemies and this. And it's just like, isn't that what you're doing? What about Letitia James? What about like in Georgia? What about like this? I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, thank you, Sandra. I appreciate you. 268 plus yeah, I don't know. The machine that looks into the future is CERN. Discern, then they manipulate the present to fill in the. Who knows? Oh, did he? got exposed because an artist didn't care about his reputation and gathered all the video. Yeah, ultimately, there's like one guy. Okay. Oh man. I mean, like we got like 30 minutes left, and less than 30 minutes left in the show. Like, how did we move that fast? Good lord. So who wins, Lisa? I mean, the consensus seems to be that it's Trump, but at least on the remote viewing and precognitive dreaming side, that seems to be the consensus. But all right, let's see if I lost anybody on the stream yet. On no gains in subscribers, but no losses. I'm actually impressed. I try to avoid politics. It's just we're so close to election that yeah, I think people are so fed up. It's the economy, stupid. It's the same reason that Clinton won. What do you think is going to happen when they steal it again? I think it's too big to rig. Too big to rig. So the question was, I'm sorry if you already talked about this. What do you think is going to happen when they steal it again, as they did in 2020? I think it's too big to rig. I think it's so obvious. It's like it's gotten to the point where it's so ridiculous. It's so over the top that nobody believes what the media says anymore. All right, so apparently Sean Combs made the misstep of trying to sue the vodka company, who is owned by a bigger, dirtier fish. Yeah, recount, and recount. Yep. They're going to try. They're definitely going to try. And not even that, like they're going to try to like use this bogus insurrection nonsense in Section 3, Article 14. Or what is it? Yeah, the Constitution, something like that. Or it's in the 14th Amendment, Article or Section 3, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, we will see. I'd like remote viewers to target the day of George Bush Sr.'s funeral in regards to what they saw in the envelopes, especially Jeb Bush's reaction. What was in those envelopes? Clinton got one too. It's probably something like thank you. It's probably something like great. Sadly, if he wins, they'll probably start a war with Russia, so he can't pull out. I think he'll still come to the table. I can't believe 4 more years has gone by with the shonky, corrupt government. I know. Yeah, exactly. They're going to try the bogus 14th Amendment crap if he wins, for sure. But Jamie Raskin might not win his congressional seat, though. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, the polls aren't accurate. Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, are we going to manage reality or not? Right? Yale University going to have subjects dealing with UFOs. According to Danny Sheehan, yes. According to Danny Sheehan. So, who hasn't responded to me. So, I'd love to interview him, but, he'll get a fair shake. But I don't know. Well, there's definitely a plan in place. Because what's his name? Karl Nell showed a slide to us at the Soul Foundation, at the last Soul Foundation meeting. So there's a plan. Now, whether or not they're following the plan, I have no idea. But the other thing too is, are these things from outer space or are they ultra terrestrials? Right. And the evidence seems to point to them being ultra terrestrials of some sort. But I mean, that's as I go farther and farther down the path, that seems to be my impression. So Not recently. You're talking about Strader, right? Not recently, but his name actually came up today for something else, where he was hugely beneficial to somebody who does research on the subject. I won't say more, but there's a lot of stuff like that, random synchronicities that are happening in the background. And Strader didn't even know the magnitude of what he did in a good way. Like he had no idea. He just follows like his intuition, and he unearths gigantic things. Like he basically found a reservoir of UFO history that no one else had. And he just stumbled into it and just was like, hey, I just wanted to introduce you to so and so, somebody else. But I'm not going to get into that. I want to keep that all quiet. But stuff that like the intelligence community is trying to hide, right? Like delete, remove, all that good stuff. Um, CES, I think you just have to be careful, because I think it's just like anything else. If and I don't have the language to this because it's going to sound kind of woo, but I think if your intentions are good and your vibrations are high, it can work. But I think if you're like low vibration, have a lot of trauma in your life, you could also invite things that are not good, like demonic sort of stuff. So you just have to be discerning and careful. And maybe it's the same thing. That's the other thing. So I think you have to use your own discernment, and I have to think you need to be very careful in what you do. Yeah, yeah. The disclosure people have been really skillful about that. Mysterious drones, mystery drones, right? That's the only way you can get the mainstream media interested, right? They can't say UAPs, because the moment you inject that in the debate, they won't cover it. But now the U.S. military is like, oh, is tap dancing now, because they can't really say what it really is. So the Ultra T's are probably the ones who need to be first uncovered before we begin to. Yeah, I think so too. Not for sure. So what's going to determine that is whenever the program comes out. So if the program is not out by that point, I'm going to keep pushing it out. That's why I have so many other videos, so I can pull them in and push that out, because I don't want to get him into trouble. He signed a contract that's saying like his first public appearance has to be on that documentary. Now, I didn't sign the agreement, but I'm not going to act in bad faith. I'm going to try to, be a good member of the community and do the right thing. I don't want to get him into trouble, because he was gracious enough to spend time with me. So, if the program is out, like if the program came out tomorrow, I would pull them up. I would pull it up. I would pull those episodes sooner. So I just haven't. I check every day to see if it's out, but it's not out yet, apparently. I haven't followed it too much. I don't even know why he was sharing it with the cloud and all that. So, Sean, your thoughts on Lou Elizondo's gaffe with UFO photo he shared? Yeah, I don't. People make mistakes. I wouldn't be showing photos and saying and like saying this is for sure, this and that, because I'm not an expert on that sort of stuff. Oh God, no. Have I ever used a Nokian magic? No, 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 no. Because I don't anything that borders on like because Enochian, I'm assuming, is angelic, but I don't like. I want to be very careful about this sort of stuff, and I, when you grow up Catholic, you become like you're anything that's demonic or even hints at demonic, which Enochian magic technically is not supposed to be. It's supposed to be like an angelic language. I think John Dee came up with Enochian as a language, things like that. But I would put it in the ultra terrestrial category, and I'm not convinced that ultra terrestrials aren't both angels and demons, right? And maybe just the same thing. An angel one day, a demon in the other, and we're just dealing with the same entities. I don't know, but no, I have never, ever, well, not consciously, not that I've been aware of, but definitely say more. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I haven't tried it. I haven't dabbled in it. Yeah, Strader's an interesting guy for sure. Yep. Yeah, so I agree that although very woo, there's something to the idea that the X-rays, ETs, ultraterrestrials are a bit of a mirror reflecting back onto us, the posture we project in certain circumstances. Huh. Greer's also working with the twins. Craig William, when you say the twins, do you mean the twins that were involved in the book Penetration by Ingo Swann? Like the twins that were in the intelligence community and that were kind of would show up from time to time to escort him around? Are you talking like those twins? Yeah, yeah. I interviewed Dr. Burks, who used to be an associate with Greer, and he definitely has ties to the intelligence community, and he definitely works with them, and not in a necessarily inimical way, but he definitely, involved them in the CE5 process. They learned that protocol from him, observed it, and things like that. He definitely has deep connections to the intelligence community. I should try using a Nokian on stream. I would need to like research it heavily before I did anything like that. It would be. And why do you say I mean, is there any reason I in particular should do that? Or is it just somebody in general should try it? Because I'm happy to recommend it to somebody else who's got more weight, more pull than I do. But why me? Why should I do it on stream? And what would the consequences be? I know what I've experienced throughout my life, and me as a fractal God spark, divinely growing to be accepted for unconditional love. Mr. Teaching God is everything is love. I hope so. I have tried it. Very interesting experience. Had strange dreams. Say more. I am intrigued. By the way, if you want to come on, I mean, I didn't mention it, but it's also open call night. So I'd be interested in hearing your story, like explaining what it is, how you learned how to do it, and what strange dreams you had. But just let me know in the comments, and I can, just, you know what? I need to put what my email address is. So just give me a second. Okay. Okay, back to comments. Attacks from deceit is everywhere. Indeed, even evil love their deeds, all for a purpose. We need to ask Dr. Rima Libo what she knows about her husband's contact with Greer. I can look into it. I would love to call you and tell you what I knew about Strader's story and why it's true. Yeah, just send me an email and I can, give you my contact information using just make sure that's right. Through a glass darkly with Sean at gmail.com. Okay, I'm not saying it's 100% a UFO, but I trust not and have not seen any good of it to prove it's false, just a theory. Uh, okay. Oh my lord. This stream has gone very, very, very quickly. And I really didn't prepare. I just kind of riffed. So what else do people, if I had like a poll, I mean I don't have a polling app installed to this, but that's good though. I love the engagement. So Gray Owl writes, "We hit you like a cluster bomb tonight, Sean." Yeah, absolutely. Look, I still have 15 minutes, so I'm not going anywhere for 15, and I still haven't see the little seeing eyes not crossed 100 yet, which is not super great, but oh, you mean Enochian? It involves sigils. I believe that. I believe that. Dr. Steven Skinner. Actually, let me look him up. Okay, so who is Dr. Steven Skinner? Huh. He looks like a geneticist or something. It's the Greenwood Genetic Center. Maybe it's the wrong guy. Let's see. No, it involves calls. Yeah, 100%. I do not recommend any magic unless you understand. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree 100% with that. Thoughts on Chinese balloons being test pass for EMP? Uh, I don't think so. I think because even if they're EMP, we still have nuclear missiles, and if the Chinese tried to do that, we would nuke them. I mean, so is everyone intending the best frequency to envelop the God spark? I don't know. Oh, I hope so. Okay, so Dr. Skinner is a practicing occultist with a PhD. He's also one of the only feng shui masters in the country. Interesting. Yeah, so let me see. Let me see if I can find. I probably have the wrong Dr. Skinner. So Dr. Steven Skinner, occult. Okay, here we go. He's an internationally acclaimed author and lecturer. He was responsible for introducing feng shui to the West. Oh, wow. This guy introduced it and wrote the first 20th century to the West English book on the subject in 1976. His first profession was that of geography lecturer now at what is now the University of Technology in Sydney. He completed his PhD in classics at the University of Newcastle with a thesis on the transmission of magical methods and implements from the Greco-Egyptian world to the grimoires. Okay, I'm just. Oh, this guy is some. This dude's a big deal. Let's see. Interesting. All right, I'm jumping back to. Let's see. Okay, look up his books on Dr. John Dee's spiritual diary. Interesting. I'll definitely check that out. For some reason, I want Pet Riot or be the disclosure guy. Yeah, I've reached out to Timothy Alberino and he didn't respond. Yeah, I like Burchett too. He's a good dude. We do tend to be creators creating creation, even if someone else's thoughts attacking the field. Indeed, isn't this magic? I'm surprised you're only hearing about. Yeah, this is today. I am this days old when I heard about Dr. Steven Skinner. Ask a question. I've never seen an interview with Dr. Skinner relating to the topic. That man is so scientific. Interesting. Oh, I bet you that's not an accident that that Skinner character was created. It's probably based on this guy. Um, Vidal, have you ever seen him do an interview recently on YouTube? Dr. Steven Skinner? Yeah, of course. Of course. I kind of only stumbled into it through remote viewing and the UAP topic, but it's increasingly an important component of all this. Glitch Bottle Podcast. Okay, I'll have to check that out. He seems like somebody I definitely want to talk to. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, there's going to be unrest for a while because because if Trump wins, we're going to have the biggest mental health crisis in human history, probably. Yep. Oh, okay. I will have to reach out to him. I'm also interviewing a guy named Dara Mason sometime in the next 2 weeks, who wrote a book about the Dark Man. He's an Irish author. He was just interviewed by Whitley Strieber, and I am intrigued. So, same sort of occult topics. I'm actually looking forward to that one. Oh, wow. He translated a new grimoire and he tested it and he explains what works and what doesn't. Yep. Yeah, Scully is probably the Frank Scully from UFO fame. I'm not sure where Mulder comes from. That's not that bad. That's actually just stay away from crowded cities and you'll be fine. That's actually not that bad. That's that's a that's a bad day in Ukraine for for Russia. So if it happens in dribs and drabs, it'll be okay. See how we're doing. So how do people feel about the next 2 days? Regardless, stay frosty, okay? If you haven't voted, vote as soon as you can because you don't want to be in that environment unless your state doesn't allow you to vote on other than election day. But I wanted to avoid crowds. I just wanted to get my ballot in with low drama and just to avoid the crazies. Yeah, but New York is a mess. Says to April, yeah. You must live in a swing state, Lisa. Nobody calls me because I live in a one party state. Yeah, let's hope we start working together with each other going forward. We need more friends more than enemies as we go out into the unexplained wilds. 100%. Oh man, yeah, Pennsylvania is. Yeah, I guarantee that. I mean, I know there's cheating because, again, I mentioned earlier, I have a friend who's on the board of county commissioners in Lancaster County, and they already caught 2,500 fake ballots or illegitimate ballots, whatever it is. Yeah, they might, but they're built like string beans, so I'm not really worried about that. Wow. Yeah, you just got to be. I don't recommend putting like political signs in your yard because you know people just for your own safety. Just there's some crazy people out there. Anyone see that high res UFO vid capture that black cube thing with white center? I have not seen that. Oh yeah, I have corresponded with him in the past. I probably could get him on. I just need to ask. Yeah. Yeah. But that social media organization technique can also be used against them. I'm not to keep my mouth shut on that, but you know, it's something. I mean, the Germans used it in World War II, just different method. But yeah, all I know is if somebody riles you up and wants you to come and attend a violent anything, don't show up. Don't go because it's probably a sting operation. Yep, even a string bean can light something on fire. John Michael Greer. All right. I want to see this Skinner guy. I'm actually intrigued. I'm going to try to watch some stuff tonight, maybe, and try to invite him. It's a quiet night. I only got 92. Let me see how. Let's see how we're doing on YouTube. I'm already getting feedback on Twitter. Oh man. I mean, it's true. They are built like string beans, so wouldn't be too worried. Let's see. Yeah, not a lot of love on Twitter tonight. I don't know why. Please do share if you can. Yeah, I don't go to protests. Just if I have to get out and go in public, it ain't gonna be for a protest. If I were to interview Steve Skinner, it would very likely appear in January because I just finished enough. I have 2 interviews in that have been recorded. They just have to go into post production. So that will leave one more interview left for me to conduct for 2024, which would be in late December. And then I already have one guy in the hopper for that. So I'll probably get 2 interviews of that. So even if Steven Skinner were the next person I interview, it would be in January when the next interview would air. So season 4. I can't believe I'm about to start year 4 of this podcast, which is kind of disappointing because I only have, almost 11,000 subscribers. It's kind of ridiculous how slow this thing is growing. Not to complain, but like it's frustrating. It's super frustrating. But we'll see. Let's see. But yeah, Vidal, I usually finish editing and get all that stuff ready with all the other stuff I'm doing. If I do 2 interviews, it'll take me like a week to like upload and get all those interviews done. But then it just goes into the queue, which I'm like several weeks ahead. Okay, James Mahoo. Okay, yeah, thank you, Gray. I'll definitely send that. Whoa, I'm getting a lot of pray that divine Christ enlightenment, acceptance, guidance, balance, and magnificence harmony befalls each fractal God spark. Yeah, I agree, Isness. Okay, I had the increase. Also, I had the increase, Pilgrim. Episodes, there's tons of stuff to watch on him. Okay, definitely take a look. If YouTube lifted all the the fairness restrictions, you would need to hire a team of support staff to handle the workload. I wish I was at that point. I'm so far from hiring a team. I first need to like make enough on this channel to like support a lifestyle where I don't have to have a full-time job. I mean, I don't have to have a full-time job, but I was doing this, a number of other things on my own for 2 years. And while I was my cash burn was decreasing, I was still burning cash. Um, just albeit at a much more sustainable rate, but I need to build the coffers up a little bit, and I'm not making enough on this thing. I would love to do this 100% of my time, as well as write books and all that stuff. I just don't have the. Um, I would need to make, if I made like 50 times what I'm currently making on this, I would be living in hog heaven. If I made 100 times what I was making, I would start to begin thinking about hiring a staff. But I'm so far away from that point that, yeah, that's true. They definitely are natural and hard won, believe me. I think I've quantified this. I think it takes a person 13 hours of viewing my videos before they become a subscriber. Now, that's not a YouTube metric. It's just a metric that I set up based on linear regressions and stuff like that. But someone has to will watch won't become a subscriber until they've watched 13 hours of video on my videos. Yeah, I definitely will. I always ask the best questions, Vidal. Just watch my interviews with Gary Nolan and Avi Loeb. Avi Loeb like actually told me at the end, he's like, you asked some of the best questions I've had for a podcaster. Yeah, well, I didn't say which horse I was backing, but you could definitely kind of infer. Uh, all right, I have to be very careful about playing music, Mark, though, because YouTube is fanatical about rights and stuff like that. So I'm definitely rolling the dice. Intriguing, captivating shorts. Yeah, I've run the shorts experiment, and it's like I get more views on a video than I get on shorts. That's how bad shorts work for me. You need spoon bending, huh? Oh, whoa! You sent Where was Steve's email? Did you send it to me on email, Vidal? Start a woke propaganda channel that pushes the narratives. The algorithm will make you. I bet you it would be. I would have to disguise my identity. But yes, I think it would be successful. But it would. I mean, it would definitely be a troll channel. Like it would just be over the top. Yeah, you have to be able to find the channel though. That's the problem. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just saying that the statistics tell me that, right? Like on average, somebody for every 13 hours of video that are consumed on my channel, I get a subscriber. That's that's what the linear regression thing says. All right, it took me 2 years to realize it and get it out. You have my permission. It was released on the same day Joe Rogan came on. Oh, nice. Okay. Thank you, Isness Magic. Oh yeah. I also put I don't put everything on Spotify, but I put all my episodes on Spotify, which by the way is growing faster than YouTube, and it's growing in a more natural progression. I mean, it still doesn't have as many views, but it's growing. The number of views is growing faster. So, like, if a typical month for me on YouTube is about 50,000 views a month, I'm up to a little over 8,000 views a month on Spotify, and they pay pretty competitively with YouTube. I'm a big fan of Spotify, and they don't censor. That's like so far. I haven't dealt with any of the kind of crap I deal with on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. I just noticed people have YouTube channels with millions of views. Make it on an AI narrated channel. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that's the other problem. Oh, nice. Yeah, maybe I should look at Substack. I'm on Patreon though. Um, but yeah, Cliff High is the man for sure. Was it? Was YouTube funded by DARPA? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know much about sacred geometry. I could kind of BS it, but I don't know enough to speak intelligently about it. At least you can be sure that the subscribers you do gain are real people because God knows you have had to go through hell to get them. Yes, well, I wouldn't say hell. I've enjoyed it. I've had to work extremely hard. And yes, everything comes back to DARPA. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look into Substack. I just haven't. I've been pretty happy with Patreon. I'm less happy with YouTube members because YouTube obviously doesn't share the email like addresses of your subscribers, which not subscribers but members, which it kind of defeats the purpose of having members, right? Because you want to be able to independently reach out to them in case YouTube decides to cancel you. Oh, Google was definitely funded by DARPA. Yeah, I agree. Mega crypto pump. Yeah, I know. I know. But if somebody files a copyright, like you can lose a channel very fast. So you have to be very careful. Yeah, maybe it was Google or yeah, because Google Earth, the CIA. Well, that's a different thing. Google Earth was a CIA app, and then I think they gave it to Google. So Google Earth used to be was developed by the CIA. I think up 23% in the last 24. What was up 23% in the last 3 hours? Oh, crypto. I got it. I got it. Facebook started by DARPA. Was it though? Maybe they supplied some investments. Maybe. Mm. I just realized I went like 9 minutes over, and I wasn't even paying attention. Sure, pump and dump. Very nice. All right, I think it's time for me to call it a night. So unless I'm at like 96, if I could get that to 100, I might stay a little bit longer. But oh, now we're at 98. Maybe it's worth staying a little bit longer to try to get 100. Um. Oh yeah, it was highly compromised in the last election. Like it was like egregiously compromised. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it could be. Yes, yesterday. Well, I think the first November 1st was the Day of the Dead. Thank you, Paco Pete, PNW. Oh, I voted like last week. Done. Oh, when I did the CE5, well, it wasn't CE5. It was kind of like I took what I knew of the remote viewing protocol ish and just tried to imagine my consciousness inside, kind of found a bird, their location, and then showed them bird's eye view of where I was. I'm like 1 for 2 with Ravens, 0 for 2 with Hawks, and 2 for 2 with Great Horned Owls. So I can order an owl faster than you can order a pizza. It's freaky. Again, it could just be pure coincidence. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just can't do it with hawks though. Not good with hawks. So it could just be complete and utter luck. Or it could be some NHI playing with me, making me think I can do it and just playing. I have no idea. Let's see. Huh. Sony S7S camera. Life log is what? Okay. Yeah. So the 98 that I'm seeing is like it's on like 8 different accounts and platforms. So I'm just seeing the total number. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe November. Okay, I see what you're saying. November 2nd, Day of the Dead. First was definitely All Saints Day. So Mark, you see that email address below? That's how you can get in touch with me. It's the one that's streaming across. Is that what they like? Is it peanuts? Oh, the Winklevoss twins. Why do they keep coming up? I know somebody who worked with them, like directly with them. They were telling me like stories. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know about pigeons. I don't know avoid having pigeons like crapping all over me. Yeah, thank you, Gray Owl. Thank you for your kind words. Peanut the squirrel has been euthanized by the totalitarians of New York State. I hope so. I hope that this disappears. Yeah, I just had 2 the other day. Um, that were hanging out near my yard. Yeah, I think I will have like a let's see. Uh yeah, I think I will have a live stream again this Wednesday because I do one a month on my channel, but let's see. Yeah, I definitely don't have enough subscribers to make those donations on YouTube, 100%. I do not. No, I'm not a K-pop guy. I like Tool. That's the kind of music I like. Very complex, kind of. I don't even know what they call it. I guess that's prog rock, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, all right. I must bid you all adieu. So make sure you vote. Follow your conscience. Do what your life experience calls. You shouldn't be judged for that. Don't let anybody influence you. Uh, yeah, the Tools drummer is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yep. Oh, I do get some money drops from you, not from YouTube, but from like super thanks and stuff like that. I don't go out of my way to ask for them. Um, I prefer subscribers that way. Not well. I prefer people to subscribe on Patreon because they actually get something concrete from it. We'll get to see early episodes and things like that. And you can find the link in the description if you look at my channel. There's a Patreon link you can click on. But yeah, if you want to do super thanks and all that stuff, or buy me a coffee, all that, that's fine. But again, I prefer that you guys actually benefit from getting a service as opposed to just expressing gratitude with by providing dollars or whatever. But yeah, I don't. People have in the past, but again, I'm not that's as much of a pitch as you're going to get from me on something like that. Let's see. Yes, I definitely have it. So I will be looking. Yeah, and I need to schedule that too. So it'll be interesting after the election. It's good timing. Okay. All right. Good night, everyone. See you all soon. Now, some time for some music.